The Young and the Restless spoilers suggest that the Alan/Martin Lawrence storyline wrapped rather quickly once Martin was exposed. While audiences had long thought that Martin switched places with Alan after their balcony tumble, what if that's not what happened at all? Could Alan Lawrence still be alive? The soap was excellent at dropping hints that Alan was Martin, with Alan being in awe of the Abbott mansion months ago, when he and Tracy Abbott arrived in Genoa City. Tracy puzzlingly noted that he had been to the house multiple times before, so she was surprised by his comment. However, she ended up fluffing it off. That was definitely a red flag for fans. Still, when it was revealed that Martin had been the one who kidnapped Sharon and Phyllis, Young and the Restless viewers were shocked but not overly surprised. Everyone had a hunch that Martin had survived the balcony tumble in the spring of 2024 and did the old switcheroo after the two brothers fought. It was also revealed at this time that Martin caused Ashley Abbott's dissociative identity disorder to surface, and that Martin often paraded around as Alan. Still, the storyline closed rather fast after Martin confessed, something he was tricked into doing thanks to Phyllis and Sharon's scheme. With that said, there was no real explanation around when the brothers did switch, as everyone just assumed it happened in Paris. There may be a good reason why the Young and the Restless didn't fully explain Alan and Martin's switcheroo. Is it possible that Alan did survive the balcony fall, and while Martin was seemingly dead at the scene of the crime, he faked his death at the time? Could Martin have ambushed his brother at some point during then and now, during a time when Tracy and Alan were separated? Maybe Martin locked Alan away somewhere and held him hostage. Then again, what if he injected him with memory loss serum and Alan is out there, somewhere, living his life without knowing who he really is and what is going on? Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Pulse Canvas. It's me, Julie, here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching, so let's dive into today's video. The Young and the Restless spoilers update for Tuesday, April 15, reveals that Victor Newman will face a waiting game while Lily Winters pushes for a confession. Plus, Audra Charles will also prepare to target Kyle Abbott, so there will be a lot happening in Genoa City. Since Lily can tell Damian Kane hasn't been totally honest, she'll address their trust issues on Tuesday's I&R episode. Lily will give Damian one more opportunity to redeem himself by coming clean, but she may not like his stipulation. There's a good chance Damian will insist on protecting Aristotle Dumas' privacy and honoring his wishes. Despite Lily's efforts to learn more about who Aristotle really is and what his motives are, there are certain things Damian can't spill without betraying his boss. Although Damian will claim he's willing to tell Lily everything, his condition may make it so he doesn't tell much at all. At least, not what Lily actually wants to know. Over with Nate Hastings, it looks like he may toss some threats around during a tense conversation with Holden Novak. If Nate senses that Holden wants to steal Audra back for himself, Nate may warn that it's not an option. It's easy to imagine Nate going on and on about Audra being committed to him, but he won't realize she's busy carrying out a new assignment for Victor. That assignment could put Audra and Nate's relationship in jeopardy depending on how it all plays out. On Tuesday's I&R episode, Audra will take a risk as she targets Kyle. We'll see the first phase of Audra's mission to lure Kyle into a tempting trap and blow up his romance with Claire Newman. Victor will face a waiting game as Audra works her magic, but he should come through with the company she asked for since it's part of her plan to draw Kyle closer. Although Audra has made predictions about pulling this off without Nate ever finding out what she's up to, he's bound to make a shocking discovery sooner or later. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Audra's dangerous behavior could lead to bad news for all parties involved, so stick with us for updates on all the mayhem. The Young and the Restless spoilers update for Monday, April 14, reveals that Jack Abbott will face a goodbye after Diane Jenkins Abbott makes an emotional confession. Nick Newman will also seemingly be in denial, so let's talk about what's in store. At Society, Tracy Abbott will deliver a heartfelt apology to Sharon Newman and Phyllis Summers for bringing Martin Laurent to Genoa City, albeit unwittingly. Phyllis will end up quizzing Tracy about the moment she realized Alan Laurent was actually Martin. It'll be hard for Phyllis to get closure on all this since she won't understand why Martin targeted her along with Sharon. However, Sharon will steer Phyllis away from grilling Tracy since she's a victim too. Phyllis will ultimately assure Tracy that she's not blaming her, and later, she'll thank Sharon for helping her navigate things with Tracy. Once Sharon and Phyllis embrace in an uncomfortable moment, Y and R spoilers say Phyllis will take Daniel Romalotti Jr.'s phone call. Although Daniel will remind Phyllis about Lucy Romalotti's takeout order, it'll seem like he really just wants to check on his mom. Phyllis will text Billy Abbott and make a prediction about being ready to work, but she'll still seem unsettled after everything she's been through. At the coffee house, Nick will ask Victoria Newman to cover for him at work a little longer since he's taking the trip to London with Sharon, Faith Newman, and Christian Newman. Victoria will think Nick needs a break from rescuing his exes, but she'll eventually accept that maybe destiny could bring Nick and Sharon back together, especially once they get away from all the drama on this trip. Nick will deny wanting anything more than co-parenting with Sharon and will claim he's not lonely, but Victoria will know he's happier when he's in a relationship. No matter what Nick does, Victoria just won't want to see him reunite with Phyllis. While Nick and Sharon get ready to catch their flight, Diane will complain to Jack about all the secrecy surrounding Martin. Jack will defend his decision to keep things quiet, but he'll respect Diane's feelings and will be glad she's opening up. An emotional Diane will also talk about feeling like she's on the outside of the Abbott family, so Jack will hope to fix that. Afterward, Tracy will pop up with updates on some huge news since she's decided to leave Genoa City and spend some time in New York writing a book. Although Jack will feel like Tracy needs to be around her family right now, she'll assure him that Ashley Abbott is going with her. Jack will give Tracy a goodbye hug along with some reassurance that she can always count on his support along with Diane's. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Tracy will keep putting one foot in front of the other as she tries to move on with her life. In Crimson Lights, Nick and Victoria discuss acquisitions. He thanks Victoria for stepping in to run things while he was looking out for Phyllis and Sharon. Victoria was glad to do it, but she's put aside a project for him to handle now that he's ready to come back. Her brother explains that he's not thinking of returning to work right away. Instead, he's taking Sharon and the kids to Europe to see Noah. Put out, Victoria tells Nick she thinks he could use a break. He says that's what this would be. She means from Sharon and all of her drama. He doesn't like the tone of that and reminds her that Sharon did not go looking for the attention of 3 psychopaths to ruin her life. Victoria apologizes. She tells him to have fun at Stonehenge and the river Thames with his family. He can see she's still not fine with it, so his sister reminds him that he's mortal. She wishes Nick would go back to living a boring life instead of being on call to rescue his troubled exes. He sighs. Victoria reminds Nick he's not only a rock for Sharon and Phyllis, she needs him too. I just don't find myself tied to a railroad track, calling out for you to rescue me every other week, she adds. Nick jokes it's more like every other month. His sister admits she wakes up worried about their family all the time. Almost losing their dad was hard on her. Plus, she notices, even if no one else does, that Nick is continually putting himself on the line. He tries making a joke out of this and assures her that his trip will be healing and awesome. Victoria wonders if Nick is planning on a reunion with Sharon. He's disappointed she's jumped to this assumption. His sister wants him to be safe and happy and wonders if this healing trip will help him see that Sharon is his destiny. Nick knows that she and Cole are in the hearts and flowers stage. But just because love is in the air doesn't mean anything is happening with Sharon. It's just a trip, he repeats, insisting he's not planning to get back together with any of his exes. Victoria worries about him being lonely since he's not in a relationship. He denies being lonely. It's best for everyone that he's single right now. After they joke about what a burden it is for him to be a hero, she makes him promise that he will not get back with Phyllis. After he pays for his drink, he asks his sister to keep an eye on their father and takes off. Phyllis joins Sharon at Society. They aren't sure if they should hug or shake hands. They do neither. Sharon admits that not snarking at each other is going to take some getting used to. Phyllis admits it used to be a rush, but assures her she has other people to hate on. Like Martin Laurent, Sharon says. They hope he rots in prison. Phyllis jokes they can send him some riddles. When she asks Sharon not to shrink her, Sharon admits that she's resigned to Phyllis being larger than life. The pair wonder why Tracy asked them to meet there to talk, but assume it's related to Martin. Sharon claims she doesn't have time for this because she's focusing on self-care right now, and that means she needs to take off for London with Nick. Phyllis forces a wide smile and nods her head. Tracy arrives and Phyllis worries she's going to say that Martin is getting away with what he did. Once she gets a drink, Tracy explains that Chance has assured her the case is solid. They toast to that, and she apologizes for bringing Martin to Genoa City. She feels sick about the whole thing. Sharon assures her that she has no responsibility for his crimes. Phyllis understands that Tracy was a victim, but has to ask, "I'm just wondering the exact moment you realized it was Martin that survived." Taken aback, Tracy wonders why that matters. Sharon wonders too, and asks if Phyllis is looking for someone else to blame. She and Phyllis bicker about this until Tracy explains that she's racked her brain for any hint or sign that she missed but found none. "That man was a sociopath," says Sharon, adding that people like that survive by living through lies. "He fooled a lot of people." As a writer, Tracy spends a lot of time thinking about people's motives, but admits that she still fell prey to all the lies Martin told her. That's something she has to find a way to live with. Tracy thanks Sharon and Phyllis for being so understanding and compassionate. She urges Phyllis to talk about how hard this is for her. Phyllis admits it's hard to process since she had no idea who Martin was while Sharon was connected to him. Sharon has to admit that at least he made her realize that she's not responsible for Heather's death. Phyllis says that would make sense since he seemed to want to heal their decades-long animosity. That tracks for Sharon, who thinks Martin was determined to prove he was a better therapist than his brother. It seems like Martin didn't want to help anyone. He was all about himself, says Phyllis. She admits that she thought putting a face to the voice would make her feel better, but it hasn't. Sharon is sure that Tracy is feeling devastated and must need someone to talk to. Normally, Tracy would have had a LAN, but her old friend Amy is back in town, so she's reached out to her and they are having dinner later. Sighing, she wonders how she could have been so wrong to put all her trust in that man. Was she so desperate for love that she missed that the man she gave her heart to was a monster? Sharon and Phyllis urge her not to go there and assure her no one deserves what the chronic narcissistic bastard did to her. That makes Tracy laugh as she wipes away a tear. Sharon knows her heart is broken but urges her not to close herself off from love. She can only do that by loving herself first. Phyllis repeats that she doesn't blame Tracy for any of this. Sharon reminds Tracy that Martin took away her whole dream of a future. Waving her hands, Phyllis tells them they can't give Martin any more power. Tracy is determined to move on with her life. Joining hands across the table, they say they've got this. Once Tracy departs, Phyllis thanks Sharon for stopping her from dumping all her anxiety on the abbot. Sharon assures her she's feeling a lot of the same things. The redhead admits caring about each other's feelings will take some getting used to. Sharon needs to get going, and Phyllis jokes she should join her in London. That gets a nervous laugh. Phyllis assures Sharon she has loads of work to do and has her kids and Billy if she needs someone. She tells Sharon to enjoy London, and they share an awkward hug. Sharon tells Phyllis to be safe and exits. Jack and Diane walk into the foyer of the athletic club. She still can't believe they had a sociopath living under their roof and never caught on. He thinks they all wanted to think the best for Tracy's sake. As they get a table, they talk about how devastated his baby sister is. Jack says she'll need them all to pull together to help her. Diane is willing if the family thinks it's appropriate. She doesn't want to overstep. Jack assumes she was hurt that he didn't inform her about the Alan/Martin situation earlier, and explains he only told Ashley because she has history with that psychopath and he was worried she would be targeted again. Diane is still hurt that he said nothing to her. He clarifies that Tracy asked him not to, and he imagined that keeping his wife ignorant was a way of protecting her. Diane's unconvinced. Jack insists they couldn't risk anyone exposing their suspicions until they were certain. She may have agreed to keep the secret, but could she have done so when seeing Alan face to face? His wife still doubts that failing to put her on alert was the best plan, but she doesn't want to make a big deal about this because it makes her sound selfish. Jack tells her she should call him out if he makes a mistake. Diane recaps that they are in a good place since they healed the rift with Kyle. Jack remains concerned that she's still feeling shut out by his family. She muses on the irony that she's been entrusted with every little detail of the Abbott home's interior, but still feels like she's on the outside looking in. They both try to blame themselves for this situation. Jack regrets that any headway she made with the family became collateral damage due to their breakup charade. Diane is sure Billy and Ashley have gone back to hating her. Tracy does her best because she loves her big brother so much. It will be hard for Tracy to trust anyone after what's happened to her, and Diane is not going to pressure her. When Jack offers to bring this up with his other siblings, his wife stops him. Diane feels she shouldn't be bothering him with this when he should be focused on Tracy. Jack apologizes for keeping her in the dark. She hopes the changes she's made to the house will be one step to winning his brother and sisters over. "You are my family too," he reminds her. Tracy meets with her brother and Diane by the bar. Diane tells her how sorry she is about what happened. Tracy tells her she's sorry for shutting her down when she saw that something was wrong. She would accept her help, but doesn't know what that would look like right now. Tracy explained she had her first meeting with the Martin Lawrence Survivors Support Group. If anything good came of this, it's that Phyllis and Sharon are getting along. Diane wonders how long that will last. Tracy announces that she's made a major decision and already talked it through with Ashley. She's leaving town and her sister is going with her to New York. She feels it's time to lose herself in writing a new book. She can still call and lean on everyone who loves her. She'll be back and can't wait to see what Diane has done with the house. Hugging her, Diane says it won't be the same without her there. Jack immediately chokes up and tells his sister he will always be there for her. Tracy would never doubt that. They embrace. Outside society, Phyllis calls Daniel and tells him she will get takeout for Lucy. She assures her son that he can stop worrying about her. She just needs to get busy on their great work for Abbott Communications. As soon as she hangs up, she texts Billy, "I'm safe, rested, and ready to roll." LDT. He texts back, asking what LDT is. Phyllis texts, "Let's do this." Nick stops by Sharon's to pick her up. She recaps that Faith is meeting at the airport. He says they'll pick up Christian on the way. The kid is very excited. Sharon grins, "Not as excited as I am." They agree it will be a good feeling for them as a family. Nick carries the luggage out to the car. The winds of heartbreak are howling through Genoa City once again, and this time, it's Sharon and Nick who are caught in the storm. In a scene that left viewers clutching tissues and gasping in disbelief, the Young and the Restless has unleashed an emotional gut punch that could change the Newman and Rosell's families forever. Longtime soulmates Sharon and Nick have weathered more storms than most, from affairs and betrayals to deaths, divorces, and everything in between. But nothing could have prepared fans for the devastating announcement the two shared in this week's episode. In a quiet, dimly lit moment at Crimson Lights, Sharon turned to Nick with tears in her eyes. What followed was a heart-wrenching confession that stunned even the most seasoned I&R watchers. Though details are still emerging, spoilers confirm that Sharon and Nick are reeling from a tragic off-screen event that has shattered their world. Rumors point to a sudden loss involving Cassie's memory, or possibly something even more current, a health scare, a custody battle, or the death of a loved one. While the show has yet to confirm exactly what happened, the emotional weight of the scene and the chemistry between Sharon Case and Joshua Morrow made it clear this was more than just another breakup. After years of reunions, reconciliations, and stolen kisses, fans always held hope that Sharon and Nick would find their way back to each other for good. But now, that dream may have been shattered beyond repair. Whether the couple is mourning the loss of a child, a tragic diagnosis, or the emotional aftermath of years of unresolved trauma, one thing is certain: this isn't just another bump in the road. This is a turning point. Social media exploded after the episode aired, with the hashtag #ShickHeartbreak trending across platforms. Some are even speculating that this storyline could be setting up a shocking exit for one of the characters, possibly linked to Sharon's lingering cancer storyline, or Nick's growing tension with Victor and the Newman legacy. Behind the scenes, whispers of cast shakeups and dramatic rewrites are fueling even more speculation. Is Y&R planning a major character death? Is this the beginning of a farewell arc for one of the show's most beloved stars? Insiders hint that the heartbreak is only just beginning, and that the truth behind Sharon and Nick's announcement will ripple across Genoa City in ways no one expects. In a move that's left fans stunned and soap insiders reeling, The Young and the Restless has just lost two legendary powerhouses. Eileen Davidson and Beth Maitland are officially out at the CBS daytime staple. Yes, you read that right. The Abbott sisters are packing their bags, and Genoa City may never be the same again. While whispers had circulated behind the scenes for weeks, few could have predicted this double departure bombshell. Sources close to the production confirm that both actresses filmed their final scenes earlier this month, and fans are not ready to say goodbye. This is the end of an era, one longtime viewer posted on social media. The Abbott family is the heart of Y&R. How can they do this? Eileen Davidson, a daytime Emmy winner and Y&R icon since 1982, has played Ashley Abbott on and off for decades. Known for her fierce intelligence, complex love life, and legendary feuds, Ashley is a character that shaped the fabric of Genoa City. Beth Maitland, the soulful heart of the Abbott clan, has portrayed Tracy Abbott since 1982 as well. Her emotional depth and family-first attitude brought warmth and grounding to the sometimes ruthless Abbott family dynamic. Tracy was always the glue that held the Abbotts together, so what happens now that she's gone? While no official reason has been given for their exits, insiders are hinting at contract disputes, budget cuts, and even creative redirection for the Abbott storyline. Could this be part of a larger plan to shake up the canvas and bring in newer and younger characters? Fans aren't buying it. These women are Y&R, one viewer wrote. You don't push out legacy characters and expect fans to stay loyal. Others are already blaming showrunner decisions, with one post reading, "You axe Ashley and Tracy? You're burning the Abbott mansion to the ground." On screen, the timing couldn't be more brutal. Ashley was in the middle of a mental health storyline and a power struggle with Tucker McCall. while Tracy was trying desperately to hold the family together as alliances fell apart. Will the sisters be given proper send-offs, or will they simply vanish with no explanation? Fans are begging the writers not to insult their decades of history with a rushed goodbye. As of now, neither actress has announced future plans, though Davidson has a successful history on Days of Our Lives and Maitland has hinted at writing projects. But soap fans aren't giving up hope that this is only a temporary farewell. Could Ashley and Tracy return for a future Abbott family crisis, or are we witnessing the end of one of the Young and the Restless most iconic sibling duos? Whether this is goodbye or just a pause, one thing is certain. The impact of Eileen Davidson and Beth Maitland on Y&R is unforgettable. Their talent, chemistry, and sheer presence helped define an entire generation of daytime television. Just when you thought the drama on The Young and the Restless couldn't get any more intense, Y&R has dropped a bombshell that has left fans reeling. Sean Dominic has been fired from the soap. In a move that has sent shockwaves through the Y&R fandom, Dominic, who played the beloved character Nate Hastings, has reportedly been let go from the show without prior warning. The news comes as a complete shock to both fans and cast members alike, as many were eagerly anticipating Nate's future in the already complicated world of Genoa City. While The Young and the Restless has not officially commented on the reasons behind Dominic's abrupt departure, sources close to the production claim the firing was sudden and unexpected. They literally just told him it was over. No explanations, no goodbye, an insider shared. It's a real blow for everyone involved, especially Sean. He was really invested in his character and was excited about the storylines ahead. As soon as the news hit social media, #JusticeForSeanDominic began trending, with fans blasting the network for what they're calling an unjust decision. Loyal viewers of Y&R were particularly upset by the lack of communication surrounding the firing, with many questioning whether there was any real explanation for the move. Sean Dominic brought so much depth and charisma to Nate, one fan posted on Twitter. His chemistry with other cast members was undeniable. This feels like a huge mistake. Another wrote, "This is so wrong." Fans were invested in Nate's growth, his romance with Elena, and now what? Just like that, he's gone. Unacceptable. While the network has remained tight-lipped, some speculators are suggesting that there could be internal issues at play. Was this a creative decision? Were there behind-the-scenes conflicts that led to Dominic's exit? And most importantly, who will take over as Nate Hastings? A few sources have hinted at the possibility that the character could be recast, but fans are divided on whether anyone else could fill Dominic's shoes. "No one else can play Nate like Sean," one fan wrote. "This is a huge loss for the show, and they can't replace him that easily." With Dominic's exit, fans are left wondering what's next for Nate Hastings' character. Will Y&R kill off the character, or will they attempt a recast to keep his storyline alive? Nate was at a crossroads in his personal and professional life, dealing with tension in his relationship with Elena and working through his career at Chancellor Winters. The loss of such a pivotal character now raises more questions than ever. Will Elena be left heartbroken and in the dark? Will Nate's story be wrapped up quickly or left hanging indefinitely? With an unexpected firing like this, fans are starting to feel like something darker may be lurking behind the scenes at Y&R. The recent departures and casting changes are starting to feel like more than just creative choices. They're starting to seem like major shifts that could impact the show for years to come. Are they trying to take Y&R in a new direction? Is the show being revamped? One fan wondered aloud. This just feels like bad management. Sean Dominic's firing has fans wondering, what's next for The Young and the Restless? With the show already under fire for recent storylines and casting changes, some are predicting that this could be just the first of many shocking moves. With Y&R's future hanging in the balance, Viewers are bracing for even more shocking twists. On the April 14 episode of The Young and the Restless, Tracy kept apologizing to Sharon and Phyllis about what Martin put them through and blaming herself. Sharon assured her Tracy wasn't to blame, and she's a therapist, too. Phyllis assured Tracy that she wasn't to blame. Martin was a psycho and a narcissist, she reminded, and Phyllis is too, which made us wonder if maybe birds of a feather might not end up flocking together, romantically speaking. Phyllis said that she hated Martin. Phyllis shrieked that she hated Martin. She insisted on it. And then, she used the words psycho and narcissist. You know, the same words Sharon applied to her just a few weeks ago? Phyllis keeps talking and talking about Martin. How long before she realizes that they're exactly alike and gets intrigued? Phyllis has, literally for decades, been explaining to anyone who would listen, and mostly to those who won't, that she's right and the rest of the world is wrong. That she's sane and they're crazy. That she is perfectly justified in all of her actions, and that those who would chastise her, shun her, or, worst of all, arrest her are the ones who don't fully understand the situation. No one believes her. No one understands her, but maybe Martin would. Phyllis deserves a man who will worship her and cherish her and, most importantly, not judge her, a man who will celebrate her brilliance. This means that he must first recognize her brilliance. No one else has been able to do it up to this point. Soap icon Eric Braden, known far and wide as the indomitable Victor Newman on Young and the Restless, has proven once again that he's just as much of a fighter off-screen as he is on it. The 83-year-old actor took to Instagram to deliver the kind of update fans have been hoping for. He's tough, he's strong, and he's going to keep showing the world he's tough. In April 2023, Braden shocked viewers when he revealed his diagnosis of bladder cancer. The news sent shockwaves through the soap community, but if there's one thing fans know about Victor Newman, it's that surrender simply isn't in his vocabulary. Sporting a sweatsuit and his boxing gloves, Braden beamed in a short boxing video where he dominated the punching bag. His message was simple: F cancer, 84 and going. True to form, he's not slowing down. Braden hinted that he's feeling stronger by the day, and his on-screen presence has remained steady. Victor Newman is still wheeling, dealing, and threatening to destroy anyone who dares cross him in Genoa City. Fans who feared he might step back from the role can breathe a sigh of relief. Eric's still in the game, and he's playing to win. Though cancer came knocking, it clearly picked the wrong guy. From the sounds of it, Eric's not only back, he might just be more motivated than ever. Maybe it's the spirit of the great Victor Newman rubbing off, or maybe it's just the unstoppable energy of a man who's made resilience a lifestyle.